Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining another LeadSquared webinar. Today's session is quite special actually because for those of you who follow LeadSquared webinars for the last few years, you'd know that we've never done a session on the auto industry before. So this is our very first one. So it's a very special panel that I will always remember. And at the very outset, I'd like to thank our speakers, Projesh and Ankur, for really giving us their time to join us today. Before I actually hand it over to to get learn more about the industry, let me just set some context as to what we are going to discuss today. So we will be talking about digital transformation of the auto industry, how to make it cost effective and efficient. I think some of the areas that we will touch upon today are, of course, the benefits and challenges that are associated with digital transformation. Understanding the new age customer, which is you basically, whoever's tuned in today, I assume are the new age customer. So really getting to know you, building strong digital infrastructure, and the cost effectiveness and efficiency of digital transformation. So with that, a quick line about the speakers who have joined today. So I have with me Mr. Projesh Kar, who is the general manager and national head digital sales at Tata Motors. I also have with me Mr. Ankur Tyagi, who is the Deputy General Manager of eSync Operations at Hero Motors. So thank you so much, Ankur and Projesh, for joining us. And a quick note on our LeadSquared speaker, Vineet Sharma, who is the Director of Business Development at LeadSquared. We just a quick note to the audience now before I take off. Please, we want to make this a conversational session. Please share any questions, comments, whatever comes to your mind. Put that on chat. We'd like to hear from you. And we definitely have the questions that were shared earlier. So we will pick that up as well. With that, over to you, Vineet, to take the session ahead.
Thanks, Shibani. Hi, Ankur and Projesh. It's indeed a pleasure to meet
I mean,
both of you. I think now we are a full pack here. I come from a four-wheeler industry. Projesh represents I think, the biggest commercial vehicle industry in automotive landscape, and you come from the leading two-wheeler bike segment. So I think it's a great mix, and I think I'm looking forward to this discussion. And so I think when we talk about the whole digital transformation in automotive, I think the most obvious question that every enthusiast from an auto perspective and from a digital transformation perspective is going to stitch into one question, and that's going to be what are the trends that we see in the whole automotive industry. And of course, when I know the answer is more around digital, the subconjugation is that what digital shift we are seeing in the industry. And we are talking about more on the sales and marketing, not, of course, on the IoTs and the manufacturing. So that's the obvious question. And I will begin in none other way but put this question to you, maybe Projesh, your view on what are the new trends on the sales and marketing front in the automotive industry, and how does it shift towards digital, or how digital will help in those realizations?
right. Thanks, Vineet, for having me over. And I think a very pertinent question that you started with. So, if you see, unlike other industries like consumer goods or even FMCG, so FMCG was largely a distributor-led business, even if you see pre-COVID era, and it was all about a game of reach. So, I fondly remember when I had gone for a trek in the Himalayas, and I think that was the only time I went for a trek. And the two things that were available up there at 10,000 feet were Parle-G and Maggie. So FMC has always been about the game of reach, but come COVID, I think they were the biggest guys apart from the e-commerce ones because they are naturally digital. They are digital first anyway, and FMCG actually spent quite a lot in building the omni-channel journey, and which was largely based on a digital backend with a with a physical front end. Now the fun there is FMCG is a low engagement purchase. Okay, come automotive, and it holds good for two wheelers, four wheelers, and commercial vehicles with an ascending order of engagement index. It's a high engagement purchase, right? So it's a first of all high value purchase, and for that, the selection, evaluation, and the commercial I would say cycle is quite longer compared to any other segment. So today we know that we have started buying online with books. So Amazon started with books, Flipkart started with books, and now they sell everything that come under the sun, but except automobiles. So that's one thing why we need to be careful, and we need to be very specific at what works in an automotive segment as far as digital sales and marketing are concerned and what not. Though we are buying 1 lakh rupees worth computers or mobile phones even on an e-commerce site, but still it's still a low engagement purchase. It's not as high engagement as an automobile, because here you, first of all, you might need a test drive. You might need to see the vehicle physically, ride it, see the color firsthand, see how the steering feels, how the sound system works, how the tire screeching sound is on the road, and all those stuff. So the challenge to surmount in automotive, for as far as digital transformation is concerned on the sales and marketing side, is paramount. So what we had started with, as an industry we had started with, it was basically digital media. So it's about the marketing piece which started, I think around 2016, and then right now we are transitioning into the commercial piece. The commercial piece is tougher to achieve in automotive, and I'm sure Ankur would second me in his turn, because that's where the customers need to be need to be made more agile, confident, and have that trust built in to actually transact online for a high engagement purchase like an automobile. So in terms of digital media, if you see, automotive right now comes at the fifth position. Okay, so it is FMCG, which is number one, followed by e-commerce, then it's consumer goods, then it is pharma, and auto is at number five. But largely, again, in that auto, it is driven by two-wheelers and four-wheelers. More four-wheelers, because four-wheelers have more pomp and show to present their products, and less of commercial vehicles. But it is changing very fast. It is changing very fast because consumers are becoming more homogeneous in terms of their digital awareness and media consumption than they have ever been before. So there a lot of integration is happening in terms of how you use platforms, how you use various communication layers and channels, how you use analytics, how you use various marketing tools to reach, to engage, to build experiences, and then finally draw them into your channel portfolio, and then the dealerships and the distributors take it ahead. The future would be how to make a seamless omni-channel journey where a customer just sees a product online, evaluates it through various platforms that he's having access to, and then having the delivery or the physical experience that he's seeking integrated into that journey. Today the journeys are I would say multi-channel and not an omni-channel, because they're not integrated. There might be integrations at certain pockets, but it's not a all state, all city, or a national phenomenon. Okay, it's very much multi-channel. There are multiple points of sale, and digital is one of them. If we move ahead into a more integrated channel, which will give an omni-channel experience like FMCG has been able to achieve, then I think the real realization of digital in automotive will happen.
Great. I think I was able to, if I have to talk about the two key takeaways, is there is a lot of physical interaction which is required in the whole automotive purchase decision, the whole test drive, and a lot of follow-ups, and it's a high ticket item, so the decision making also is not very quick like an FMCG. So there is a lot of scope for improvement. Right now the industry is somewhere at a fifth level, and at the top it is FMCG. And unlike anticipation, it's the other industries who have done a lot of leapfrogging in terms of digitization, thanks to COVID again. I think the second thing that you said is, today the industry is not at an omni-channel experience, it's a multi-channel experience, and it will take certain amount of investment for the shift to happen. So very interesting take, and that makes me, of course, ask the same question to Ankur to augment his views on what you said just before. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Vineet. I think I should thank Projesh for covering almost all the things. A little which I would like to add on this is like, yeah, first thing is when we talk about automobile is something which is moving, and whereas other products are stationary. So this particular uh, I would say the region the automotive is moving. So it have like customer have some different kind of testings or maybe requirements which they will be looking at while they're making a purchase decision. That is one of the reason why still the sales and marketing has not been as much digitalized as FMCG or other sectors as Projesh mentioned. Yeah, if I talk about operations and the manufacturing side, IoT and all those are quite well established in automotive sector. But again, because of these reasons, and also if I talk about some of the inputs, like nowadays we are having a lot of disruptions in technology also. So every second day, a new technology is coming in. Some EV technology, then there are autonomous vehicles, then there are connectivity vehicles. So it is becoming more of personalization to the customer. So customer are looking for more personalized vehicle where they can have apps or maybe connectivity solutions as per their personal needs. So these things are making it a bit difficult compared to other FMCG goods and other goods to make it saleable online. And yeah, still there is one connect, like when a dealer sells the car or a bike or a two wheeler, anything, then there is a connect between dealer and the customer, which still is very much relevant in automotive world. When I purchase a car, I will go to a dealer because I know I have to drive it. If I have found any fault, I have to drive it to the dealer, and again I have to make some relation with the dealer also, so that it can be repaired very fast, or maybe regular service also can be done very fast. So still there is some relation which is still exists between the customer and the dealer or service center in automotive, which currently we are seeing missing because of very easy availability of other products which are stationary products. So that is also one of the reasons why customers still prefer to buy it, to see it physically, and as Prajesh mentioned, drive it, because it is motive, it is more emotional thing. So they have to drive it, they have to see it, feel it, then only they will purchase it. It is not just about the cost, but about the product which they are buying. So that is the reason I think I double Prajesh on all the inputs that he has given, and I would just like to edit these two three things which I have added just now.
Great. I think interesting conversation. I think that inevitably brings me to the follow-up question on that. So while the OEMs who are uh, the forward thinkers in the whole value chain, then there is a dealer community, and then there is a dealer sales executive who has to sell a product, comes from a very traditional background, and there is a customer who again is sitting in a very different orbit, who has done entire research on a bike dekho or a carwale.com. And today, I think the whole competitive advantage that a dealer sales executive used to have, maybe a 6 years back or an 8 years back, and part of the demonstration was to explain the product. Today, that has shrunk down to only the exception handling, because the customer universe has become more educated because of the reasons that I mentioned. And while we all understand that dealer community is a very strong pillar in how the sales and marketing universe navigates in the auto industry. What do you think, Ankur? How is the buy-in from the whole dealer community, that how important it is to have the digital transformation in the way they sell along with the OEM partner, or the traditional belief that it is the dealer sales executive and the relation and the way they give the demo that what brings the sale? So I know it's a tricky question, but I would like to have your views and thoughts around it.
Yeah, so thank you, Vinit, for asking this. So basically, I would again say, like, yeah, you mentioned it right. There are so many websites from where we can see the specifications of a vehicle, right? We can see what is the engine type, what is the maybe CC, what is the mileage, and all those things we can see on the websites. A lot of reviews are happening. A lot of YouTube channels are there which used to give all the details of the vehicle. So consumer has become more knowledgeable about the vehicle. That is very sure. So the thing is how to utilize the digital platform. Right now, again, I will say that on sales front, still it is not that much, but yeah, on marketing front, utilizing these channels which are already available in the market, like Carwale, maybe car24.com, and there are a lot of channels, and there are a lot of YouTube's channels where which can be utilized for marketing of the automotive of the cars, or maybe the vehicle or the two wheelers. And for the sales purpose, the sales person has to be develop new skills you are right, they are now competing with AI, I would say. So they are competing with AI, so they have to be master in their field. They have to understand, yeah, what AI cannot do. Those things they have to bring up when they are working with the customer. Like AI cannot give you the drivability experience, so that kind of thing they need to bring. But companies should utilize these channels for marketing purpose, for, because today word of mouth is something which is like spreading more than anything. So if there is a good feedback about any company, any vehicle, that like that goes weirdly very fast to everyone. So that way we can utilize these marketing channels and sales. Slowly, yeah, there are certain things which still AI cannot explain, or still digitalization cannot explain. On those point of fronts, these needs to be leveraged by the sales team.
I think very interesting. While I mentioned some of the platforms who are giving information to the customer, I forgot to mention that yes, it's an inevitable competition to every human being, AI. Of course, that will also have its role in, if not selling the vehicle, maybe the whole enablement part. And that's where we will be poised with the challenge again, that is it really the dealer sales executive sales acumen which is selling the vehicle, or it is the technology and the enablement which is doing the job. I think wonderful perspective. Again, Projesh, this same. Yeah, Ankur, I see
Just
one more
want
point.
to
Go
add
ahead.
one thing. Day before yesterday, I was sitting with one of my friend, and this Chat GPT has become so interesting nowadays. He was looking to purchase a four wheeler, and through Chat GPT, we were able to find out which one is the right solution, which one could be the right kind of vehicle for him. So I'm saying AI is going to be a biggest trouble. That is the reason why I'm saying. But yeah, still there is a lot of scope for the sales people.
Sure, I think that's a valid point. And then that brings me to Projesh, who comes from trucking industry, which finds most traditional customers. Their second or third generations have come into the transport business. So I think it's a very diverse customer segment, and I'm sure Projesh you would agree with that. But at the same time, relationships also play a major role. And here, some of the dealer principles are directly involved with the customers. Now, in this scenario, what do you think? What is the view of the dealer community in the whole believability on the digital transformation and its need in the industry?
So I think again a very pertinent question, and I can see in the audience list uh, two of our senior executives from our dealership community have also joined. So yes, so see, commercial vehicles and also passenger cars to a large extent is not a one is to one purchase between the organization or the company and the customer. It's a multi-stakeholder purchase, right? So it's not only the dealership which plays a very important role, but it's also the financer who finances the vehicle, because 98% of commercial vehicles are finance purchased. So the digital maturity of each stakeholder, right from the OEM up to the customer, and all the intermediate channels, the stakeholders in between, is equally important. Otherwise, if any of those spokes fail or fall behind in terms of sharing the digital vision or the aspiration, then the end objective won't be achieved. As far as the dealer community is concerned, yes, say a couple of years ago, if we speak, there was not much trust on whether digital will materially contribute into business, whether it is marketing or sales, and we have always been, heavily dependent on below the line marketing as an automotive industry, and it's not specific to CV, but even for PV and two wheelers. But if you say today, then I would say more than 70% of our dealerships are heavily investing in digital transformation. It's not only on marketing channels or sales tools. It's also about having digitally enabled, digitally aware, digitally literate manpower who can handle advanced tools going ahead. So it's, as they popularly say, that AI will not replace people, but people using AI will replace people who don't know how to use AI. So AI is not a competing channel. That's a very misconception that should be immediately busted. It's a tool, or it's a technology which is developed by humans, and we should have evolved humans to use those technologies to bring in more efficiencies into business. And that's where I think the entire industry is headed. and the dealership community is also extremely upbeat on absorbing these digital tech. Yeah, there are differential levels of maturity. Maybe a dealership who is in Mumbai or Delhi, would be more prone to accept and invest and move ahead faster on the digital part than maybe a dealership who is in a tier 2, tier 3 city, because the kind of customers they interact with or the kind of business environment they're working in, they might not be able to see that benefit immediately. But it's just a matter of time, because when Amazon had started, they were not delivering to tier 2, tier 3 cities. They were limited themselves to metros, but now they deliver to even tier 4 cities. So the impact of digitalization, and also because of UPI, and that's a specific boon to India, that UPI has scaled to such gigantic limits, that the belief or the trust in digital commerce has really sunk in, and which is quite ahead of Western countries. And they still use credit card or cash. A small shopkeeper in London will not accept an UPI payment. They don't know what UPI is. They will still ask for pound sterling to be paid. But India, it is not. And that is, I think, really building the microsystem for digitalization of the business part of it. So marketing part was anyway that I just spoke. And I think all dealer partners across the auto industry are using digital marketing in one way or the other. But the real flavor is when the sales processes become digitalized, and that's where the sales executives, they also kind of get benefited from the efficiencies that those digital tools bring in, and they would always be empowered by machine learning and generative AI for content, or predictive AI for AI, that how do I convert a customer, on then going ahead with deep learning and game theories and whatnot. So it's not something to be afraid of. It's not something to be thinking that this is a competing channel to us. No, it's not. It all will be integrated, and the relationship aspect will never go away, because as you must understand, that automotive purchase is not a bottle of Coca-Cola that you just drink and you forget. You don't even remember the retailer's face who had sold you that bottle of Coca-Cola, right? It's a long engagement purchase, and post sales is a long history of service which needs to be given to customers, and service cannot be digital. It's very physical, it's very mechanical. So that aspect will remain, and that aspect will only grow better with use of digital technologies. So that's my belief, and that's how I think the industry is shaping up very promisingly.
I think very important aspects that you brought along, and I think I cannot agree more that it's sort of incorrect to understand AI as a competition. I think it will become an enablement, and there will be two type of people: one who embrace it and use it, and the other ones would feel it to be a real challenge. Otherwise, I think it's a real enabler. So wonderful. I think from LeadSquared, when we also conduct clinics, marketing clinics, and we have clients in all spheres of automobile. What we have also observed is that when we talk about a two-wheeler industry, many dealerships are congratulating us that we have created a system that that is helping them steer through the plethora of the leads that they have, so many follow-ups of the test drives, because the sheer volume that persists in the two-wheeler industry. While at the same time, I think for whenever we have discussed this with the trucking industry, the discussions are completely in a different trajectory. Having said that, I think one thing is common, that when we interact with the second or the third generation, the whole openness to a digital transformation is much more than a traditional business. Having said that, uh, even the most traditional businessmen today are talking about it. So I think few things are inevitable, that there will be a lot of digital intervention in all spheres of automobile industry. The degree and the rate will differ basis who's steering the ship and what kind of sphere. It's a two-wheeler or four-wheeler or trucking industry.
Yeah, and when it is
Fantastic.
also akin, and I'm sure you would agree, it's akin to when computers came in the late 80s. Everybody thought that computers will take away jobs. Today, can you imagine a business, or even a small trader who can run without a computer? So it's when any new technology comes, it instills a fear, an uncanny fear, because people are not sure what it's going to unfold. But ultimately, any technology has only benefited mankind and benefited industries and economies worldwide, and the same will happen with digital as well.
Yeah, That's the right take around it. Uh, one question, and this is going to be a very short one. Considering the challenges on the registration, the whole relationship aspect, Ankur, do you believe add to cart, check out a cart, is that a near term, long term, or mid term possibility in automotive landscape?
I think it is already started,
It's
and
happening.
yeah, it is already happening, and there are certain EV two-wheelers which are already there on the Amazon, right? So it is already started, and it should not be long when we are seeing add to cart and purchase, and you are getting a personalized delivery at your home. So yeah, one thing I want to add in previous question is, yes, one thing that AI can also help is in understanding the customer. So when I'm adding to the cart and receiving it at my home, the my dealership person who is delivering that to the customer, he will also be aware of the customer requirements, and that way he can fulfill the personalized need of that particular customer. So yeah, AI can be utilized in that way also. So this is very short term. It is not going to be long term. I think 5 years down the line, once we have more numbers of kind of companies registering into the Amazon or maybe Flipkart, we'll be seeing it soon.
I think this will also depend to a certain extent on the whole regulatory aspect as well,
Yeah.
that the ease of registering the vehicle. Projesh, your views on a possibility of adding a truck in the cart and check out three or
It's
four of
already
them.
there. It's already there. So Tata Motors already has its own online sales platform. It's already live, and all of you can go and check buytruckandbus.tatamotors.com. That's the website. So you will feel that you have got into a Amazon of trucks. It's happening. People are coming, inquiring, booking also from there. So it's not far off. And as far as automotive industry is concerned, it's not only about vehicles. It's also about spare parts. It's also about services. It's also about value-added services, accessories, and whatnot. So those are much lower engagement purchases compared to a vehicle, and they would lead the way, and vehicles will follow soon. So I'm not saying that somebody would buy a 50 lakh truck tomorrow entirely digitally, but yes, the intent to buy digitally is already there. And how OEMs respond, how the dealerships complement, integrate in the entire journey, and make it as a very healthy and agile omni-channel experience for the customer is what will decide the future.
And I think, yeah, Pujesh, you mentioned rightly, accessories we can very easily get right now from Amazon or Flipkart. Everything is available on Amazon and Flipkart. Headlights, tail lights, what not is available. So right now everything is happening. Yeah, it is not very far. We are going to get the
That's a, as Nankuri would agree, that that's a much bigger industry. The
correct,
frequency of purchase is much higher there,
correct,
and
correct.
hence and it's a low engagement purchase as well. So the digital share of sales would be much higher there, and that's part of automotive industry anyway.
A question to both of you. We all understand, being from the industry today, selling a vehicle has become a little less profitable than it was 5 years or 6 years back. Uh, Knowing the trends of the real estate cost, the manpower cost, especially this is a difficult game in the tier one town. Uh, Now the importance of selling an AMC extended warranty accessories has become all the way more important than it was ever, because your margins of earning from insurance or registrations have drastically gone down. Now we've been, I think the whole automotive industry has been trying to learn the importance of selling the value added items, right? Now this has become crucial more than ever, and we all know that in our heart that a digital tool, when handed over to a salesperson, integrated part of the customer journey and sales experience, uh, digital transformation can actually trigger uh, more impact in these aspects. A possibility of selling an extended warranty becomes higher if you have a digital tool in place. Do you think this can also become a fuel or one more reason for the dealer community to adapt to the digital transformations that OEMs bring in?
So Ankur, I'll go first if it's okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's absolutely spot on. And see, a dealership is a trade, right? So a dealership would always look for newer and wider opportunities for business. What more can they sell? How can they diversify their sales mix? How can the share of wallet for a customer be increased? So that's a way. Any dealership or any distributor works. So yes, so with these digital interventions coming in, or with these marketplaces, being integrated into the sales ecosystem for automotive, I think there is no reason for the channel, for the automotive channel, which is such a huge fraternity that we have, and such a capable fraternity in the country, will shy away from adopting these digital means, and it's already happening in some cases.
So Ankur, I think
Yeah. So
there is
so I
some,
think,
yeah.
yeah, I think Prajesh has already mentioned very well all the inputs. So I would like to add, like, this is not just limited. Like, we are thinking digitalization in sales and marketing for automotive is limited only to sale of the automotive. No, it is not. In fact, there are many subscriptions which are nowadays coming in with the IoT enabled vehicles, right? Those subscriptions are also like with the base of some like dealership, or maybe the OEMs, or maybe the suppliers. They can also earn some money through that also. So it is not only the vehicle which is delivering the profit, or which is earning the profit for the OEM or the suppliers or the dealers, but there are certain things which are in addition to the vehicle, which they can sell very easily on digital platform. I don't think I think around 70-80% of us might be taking all the insurance policy online. I don't think that nowadays we are going to the insurance agents, taking our vehicle there, and they are taking photographs and all that. That is stopped now. So that is nothing but digitalization of insurance. Same way, digitalization of like delivery. Yeah, final vehicle delivery might take some time, but other than that, all the aspects are already covered by digitalization. Be it insurance, be it subscriptions, be it some child part and service. Yeah, I need to book a service. I can book at a click of finger. Like, I can just use my app and I can book a service tomorrow. My car will be taken from home, and I will receive it back home by the evening. So it is all done digitally. Nothing physical we have to do nowadays. So that's how it is happening, and that's how the digitalization is being leveraged by automotive dealerships and automotive OEMs.
I think very valid point, and I think this realization is there that the buck doesn't stop at just selling the vehicle. I think there is a whole lot of things that a dealership sales executive is supposed to do today, and in fact, the bar is being raised by the new entrants in the game, especially the EV industry, the two wheelers and the three wheelers, and because they have conceptualized something in practical that creates the competition. I think it's like one player coming in and disrupting the game, and everybody has to catch up mandatory. Otherwise, you're not just there in the business. So I think I understand and appreciate this point that you brought in. So brings me to the next question, Projesh. Uh, what do you think? If I look at the major automobile players like the ones I'm interacting with today, everybody has been able to create a mobility platform which speaks to a dealer management system which does the transaction, and certain amount of automation is already there. But what are the two three aspirations that are required in the Indian automobile industry from a digital adoption perspective? I think one thing that you highlighted, Projesh, is certainly today there is a fragmented multi-channel experience. Uh, it has to stitch back and become an omni-channel experience. The question is coming from a perspective that when do we think that automobile would move up from in the ladder from a point from a ranking of five to a fourth ranking or a third ranking, especially because every customer ends up spending lakhs and lakhs on that one purchase. I think it should be more crucial for the sellers to be chasing the customer in a fantastic seamless manner. Obviously that should be the endeavor, but that's the industry is far from there. So what are your thoughts? What are the two three aspirations from the future leap in the whole digital transformation journey? Because we all know it's a journey, it's not a 0 to 1 in one day. So what are the two three things that trucking industry would see in the future roadmap of their digital adoption?
So I would answer it from an automotive POV, Vineet, and I think the three most important maturity levers for digital in auto. First is how can you automate reach? So reach is completely a function of feet on street today, and reach actually decides your appetite for sales. Okay, so if you are limiting yourself to a finite reach, which has traditionally been the case in
I'm sensing some network issue at Projesh at your end. Yep.
yeah,
Meanwhile,
I
can
think yeah, am I audible now?
no, you're not audible, and the voice gets interrupted. I
Okay,
think you're back now, but
Better now. Yeah. I think.
yes, it's better.
is it okay now?
Yeah, this is better now.
Because it's so I'm in Lucknow actually. I told you, so it's a lot of rain here. I think the network might be impacted because of that, and not Mumbai that you always get 5G. Okay, so yeah, I'll come back to the topic. So the first is the reach automation. Okay, so it should not depend on any physical bandwidth, that whom all I want to make my products aware of. Okay, so that's the first part, and that really expands or unlocks the opportunity of sales for say a dealership or for an OEM. That's the first part. The second piece, how to shorten the commercial cycle. So since, as I mentioned, automotives and especially commercial vehicles, two wheelers and passenger cars are not so much, because whatever offers are there from the OEM side are mostly uniform across the country. In commercial vehicles, it's not so. It's a very high engagement and a very commercially complicated or complex business, right? Because there are multiple aspects that a company has to see, or a dealership has to see, or a customer sees when the actual purchase happens. So how can we shorten that commercial cycle using various automation tools of multiple maturity indices is what will define a faster adoption. And the third part is how much digitalization can we bring into the service ecosystem, because we must agree that service of a vehicle is a longer engagement compared to sales. So the real experience that you can build in with a customer, because of which he will come back to you again and again, is how much digital you can make that service thing. How easy it is to book a service. How is it to get the vehicle to the nearest service station. How easy is it to get the updates of suppose your vehicle is has broken down somewhere, and who is attending, to what extent it has been done, those ready updates. All those things make a customer much more excited, much more happy, much more contented, and the adoption naturally builds up. You don't have to push the adoption with customers; they will naturally pick it up. So suppose a very simple solution like a chatbot, where customer just puts in his one chassis number, and he can know the entire history of how the vehicle has run, where it is stuck, what the telematics solutions in the earlier days used to provide as something unique to the industry, is now on every vehicle, is now with every customer. It's just as simple as using an app. So service digitalization, shortening of the commercial cycle, and reach automation are the three major areas which I believe will lead to more adoption by the channel as well as the customers in the auto sector, specific to maybe commercial vehicles a little more.
Thanks, Projesh. Ankur, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think Prajesh has covered very well the sales and commercials angle. I would like to add from product angle on this. So already we are having a lot of IoT enabled vehicles in the field. So as Prajesh mentioned about service, it is not just about selling to the customer, but also providing the right service to the customer. So IoT enabled vehicles are already there in the field, which helps us in understanding what is the driving pattern of the customer and how we can preemptively, like rather than post breakdown, pre breakdown itself, predictively we can utilize the AI and we can send some notification. Hey boss, your car is having getting heated up. Please do not start. Maybe just an example. We were able to reduce. I was working in food, and we were able to reduce the warranty of batteries, and customer satisfaction has improved drastically because of similar kind of adaptation, where we kept on sending messages whenever the battery reaches the threshold limit, that sir, please charge your battery, otherwise this will get discharged. So this way a customer will also feel positiveness, like rather than like when you get any predictive analysis and you are able to basically correct the situation rather than correcting it post, like doing postmortem or getting a breakdown, then customer will surely be happy. So I would like to add this one in utilization of IoT in the vehicle. and in order to ensure the right customer satisfaction and right customer, and again we have to ensure we should not be sending a lot of notifications, only necessary notifications to customer. So that way we can again utilize this to improve the customer satisfaction and improve the digitalization practices.
Right, right. I think that's a very interesting take. The right balance between the digital intervention and the balance between the relationship, and I think the whole aspect of post sales, which becomes, I think that's the most concerning piece in the whole lifetime uh, a lifetime realization or usage of the asset, because it's a long-term association that the customer has with a two-wheeler or with a truck. So very interesting, and I think I would have loved this conversation to just keep going on, but in the paucity of time, I will have to ask Projesh and Ankur, both of you, to give a closing comment on where do you see the next 2 to 3 years in the automotive landscape in terms of digital transformation across sales, marketing, contact center, the customer experience, and the UX. Your closing comments on what are you preempting to happen in the industry in the next 2 years or 3 years?
I think the customer experience and UX is going to be driven by digitalization, and right now itself it is already there, and it is going to be like fully leveraged in coming 2 or 3 years. Sales and sales perspectives, yes, already there are, as I mentioned, certain already Prajesh also mentioned, websites are already there where we have to further utilize those kind of available resources. And yeah, basically digitalization is going to convert whole marketing and sales configuration that right now we have, and it is going to help customer and also the dealership and OEM in order to be more efficient, more effective, and provide better customer satisfaction.
Wonderful. Thanks, Ankur. Projesh, your views on the whole. So, if I have to ask for a closing comment on where do you see the next 2 to 3 years, the automotive industry, what kind of interventions will be taken in the next 2 to 3 years to shift the orbits in the whole digital transformation journey? Your closing comments.
First, can you hear me?
Ankur, are you able to hear us?
Yeah, I'm able to hear, I think, some information.
Okay, Projesh. Yeah, so I think I see certain challenges at Projes, and because of the reasons that he mentioned, maybe Shibani, this is good time that we take couple of questions from the from the attendees of this webinar and try and address them in time, and then close the session.
Absolutely. While I bring Pradesh on screen, so Ankur, the questions are sent towards you sent your way rather. So the first one is about Chat GPT and AI. So how does Chat GPT and AI support in transforming and enhancing digital sales leads and reduce customer complaints?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, just 2 3 days ago only, I was sitting with my friend, and with the help of Chat GPT, I was able to like we inputted some configuration which we were looking in the vehicle, and we got some good glimpse like what is the best suitable vehicle for my friend. So Chat GPT and AI are going to drive this particular thing very well, and yeah, that is going to help us in enhancing. Like sitting at home, I am able to at least from just maybe if I'm going to the dealership, I might be checking 10 vehicles. Sitting at home with the help of AI, I may be reducing that to 2 or 3 vehicles. So that will be easier for me, and I can go and check those 3 vehicles and select the best out of them. So that's how ChatGPT and AI are going to really support this sales and marketing.
So sorry for the network glitch. So I hope you are able to see me and listen to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Projesh.
yeah. So I will just come back to Vinit's question. So automotive industry, yeah, in the next 2 to 3 years, a lot of spend would be seen around this AI ML. I think Ankur was just touching upon that in terms of how to build in more intelligence into the entire marketing and sales process. So today, as I mentioned, how whom to reach, when to reach, what to propose, at what point of time, how to plan a business or how to make a business plan for a say commercial vehicle owner. All those things are anybody's guess. It's the sales manager's estimate or the sales executive's guess, or it's built on collective intelligence. of a set of people. So these things will become sharper. These things will become agile, and investments would be done in these areas, so that not a single dollar is spent showing my ad to people who are not interested to buy. Okay, so it will become very, very convergent kind of marketing efforts, with the kind of marketing technology stacks that we have from solution partners across the country. Secondly, in terms of you know having higher share of wallet for the customer, how to ensure that, how to prescribe that, what all he would be needing, he would be buying throughout his life cycle, and identifying cross sell, upsell opportunities. These are like extremely important aspects for high engagement purchases, like commercial vehicles. So how can we use predictive AI or prescriptive AI in these fields? Would be It's already started, and I think a lot of literature is available in the web, that how companies are building these solutions. And the third part, so I'm not touching upon product side or manufacturing side at all, and I think Ankur touched a bit on that. That's very relevant, but I'm limiting myself to sales and marketing. The third aspect is, how can we build virtual salesmen? So I think conversational AI would be something that would emerge faster and bigger than imagined across industries, and automotive will not be an exception, because that's something that customers are really liking. And if you can build in that sense of relationship also, using NLP, and using text to speech and these kind of texts, there's no reason that the customer won't adopt it. So these are the main areas, I think, and a lot have been spoken across forums, across a lot of literature, as I said, is available from consultants, from solution partners on these, and these are gradually becoming realities. And I've spoken to customers also, actual customers or actual buyers, and explained to them or demonstrated to them some of these technologies, and their excitement is like shooting through the roof.
Okay.
I think wonderful, Shivani. I think this is time to take a few questions that we have received from our invitees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I don't know the names of the people who have asked them. So, I'm moving on to the next question. What are the various ways to connect with users digitally without disturbing them? How do we cater to their needs in a better way?
So
Projesh,
digital, yeah.
yeah.
Digital intrinsically is a non-intrusive marketing medium, right? So there are many ways to configure, a digital content, say on a social media page, or say on a website. So like, gone are the days of banner ads. Display ads used to be very, very irritating when it used to pop up from any corner of the site. You are looking and you're trying to read something, and it constantly irritates you. So gone are those days. So native ads, the day native ads came in on websites, they're like very smooth, and they kind of sink into your online reading or viewing experience. So I can't, because of the paucity of time, I can't go into details of this. But today, the way content is being published digitally by various publishers is very non-intrusive, and the kind of engagement that it builds in, even with a glimpse, is of extremely high level, which people are bound to get attracted to, and will not feel irritated at all. So there are a lot of solutions available. You can just go ahead and read, or consult with few good marketing agencies, and they'll tell you a lot on this.
Yeah, maybe one of the solutions is interactive app where where notification can be controlled. So if
Correct.
user want, then only they can see. Otherwise, they'll
Otherwise, so
stop
so
that.
WhatsApp marketing, WhatsApp broadcast has become very popular. You see, and there's an option for the customer or the user to put stop, and he will not get it. And if he's interested, then he can continue, and he will continue to get the things. So today, data is king, and the consumer is also king. Data privacy and all those new norms have also been rolled out now. So it's not that customers would be disturbed, or against his will he would be seeing something. That's not the case anymore. That was time like 5 years ago, when digital was being pushed into everyone's phones and digital gadgets. Yeah, Shivan, you can take the next one.
Yeah. So the next one is just a second. Yeah, when are we going to see online digital multiple dealerships in India?
So, sorry, online.
When are we going to see online digital multiple dealerships in India?
So, if I'm understanding correctly, they're talking of digital dealership or a virtual dealership sort of a thing.
Yes, but a multi OEM or multi product.
Okay, so multi-brand. So multi-brand distribution, I'm not sure that that maybe FADA can answer because they are the Federation of Automotive Dealers Association. That's a more of an industry call. I don't see because in Europe we have or in Middle East also we have multi-brand distributors. I don't know if India, maybe in electric vehicles or electric two-wheelers it might work, but definitely not for commercial vehicles. I don't see it immediately coming in because all OEMs have their own channels, and there is a lot of machinery that is between the channel and the OEM, which will be difficult in case of a multi-brand thing. But yes, virtual dealerships, very much a reality, and I think the passenger car companies have already started building it, and the kind of experience that the solution partners are building these days are like out of the world, and those really enhance the way a customer sees a vehicle. I think that's 10x the experience that he gets when he steps into a physical showroom. So that's going to be there. And
Yeah, in fact, branding is the reason why we are having this virtual multi-brand.
yes,
What you were saying. So if branding is there, it has to be single
yes,
brand. You cannot do multiple branding on a single website
yes,
or web
yes.
page.
I agree with Ankur. Yeah.
Awesome. Dhawal, I see you posted a comment. Is there any way we can upload content onto all? Please elaborate. But if
Uh,
you're talking about the same content on multiple social channels, then yes, there are tools available to do that. But I may have got your question wrong. So feel free to elaborate there. Now, moving to the next question. I'll actually ask Vineet to start with this maybe. What are the various cost effective tools used for digital transformation?
I
So one is
think,
yeah, Vinith, yeah, go
yeah.
ahead, please.
So I think when we talk about the whole digital transformation, I think the key lies in doing certain bit of automation on the marketing side and bit on the sales side. Now, the sales universe is you have OEMs, you have zones and the dealers and the branches and the TSCs. I think a platform which can bring the whole hierarchy of the salespeople who have to act on a customer with the right amount of user experience, a nice customer acquisition platform or a lead management system, which speaks seamlessly with the transaction management system or DMS system. So I think the cost-effective way of doing it is because I'm also saying that because today every OEM, established OEM in India, has a dedicated distributor or a dealer management system because it's not a multi OEM environment. So dealers are able to record the transactions. I think the next leap comes when you have a mobility platform which helps you acquire the customer from the moment first time it is identified on any platform, digital or a physical platform, and then a contact center reaches out to the customer for the test drive and the booking follow-ups. This entire trail or series of events which are executed by a sales executive on the customer, we enable them with a customer acquisition platform like LeadSquared or maybe others, but it has to talk seamlessly with the dealer management system so that record keeping is segregated in the DMS side and the relationship is managed in a different tech stack. And on the marketing side, I think uh, today we need to, I think the auto industry needs to continue the investment on the digital. I think that's already happening. The investment in the whole BTL sphere has reduced and the digital marketing spends have gone up, but at the same time the problem is when you have so many leads, it takes time for you to send it to a contact center and from contact center to the dealer sales executives. So I think the cost effective manner would be to have a platform which can absorb leads and give it to a call center, and from a call center give it to a salesperson, and can keep a record of the entire relationship till the time it goes to the transaction management. I think that's my take for a cost-effective manner. Of course, uh, when you invest a lot, there are a lot of possibilities. Tech is never ending, but that's my take on the first few steps in erecting a cost-effective infrastructure on the digital transformation.
Awesome. Thank you. If anybody would like to add, or I'll just move on to the next
I
question.
just want to add, like Vineet has mentioned very clearly, the best benefit of AI or digitalization, but what we can get is we have a lot of data. Converting that data into the information, that is where we can use the digitalization and utilizing that information on the basis of need of customer or need of the dealer. That is where manual intervention will come. But the main function where we can use cost-effective digitalization is converting data into information.
Awesome. Thank you. Dhawal, I got your question. Is there any way we can upload content onto all social media pages? Yes, there are tools out there, and I will share a list with you post this session because we at least quite use it ourselves. So yeah,
I'm using
um,
if you want, so there are few tools. If you want,
yeah.
can I tell one of
Please,
those which is
please
quite
go
good,
ahead.
Publer.io. So from there you can publish anything on all the social media pages. Publer. Maybe I will just put in the chat box. Yeah, carry on, Shivani.
Yes. Now I think finally I happen to see that a lot of our friends in the manufacturing space have posted questions. So the question is actually, how can a manufacturing process be digitally transformed in a better way? So while it might be slightly off topic here, would any of you like to share your thoughts on this?
So yes, I think the, today already most of the OEMs or most of the automotive manufacturers are shifting towards digital manufacturing. How it can be done, again, it is all data. So we are surrounded by a lot of data, a lot of machines, a lot of processes are happening. Again, the best way is how that data can be converted into information. A lot of machines, a lot of processes are happening in each of the manufacturing facility. So by utilizing digitalization, we can reduce the time, and we can basically improve the effectiveness and efficiency of that particular setup, and we can directly draw the information out of the overall data. So basically, it will make us more agile, and it will help us in faster decision making. So this way, utilizing the digitalization techniques, maybe one of the example is SPC. We used to do SPC chart, control charts. Nowadays, there are digital SPC charts. So we need not to bother much about that. The data is directly fed from the machine to the cloud, and from cloud we are directly getting if there is something going out of the control or something. So that way we are directly able to make the decision based on the information which is coming to us.
So I
So
think Ankur has beautifully explained in a simple way how it can be done in manufacturing, and whoever has asked the question can read few white papers on Industry 4.0. Okay, and it will cover majority of the topics and how digital is happening in the manufacturing space. And I think with IoT and all, it's really scaling up, and the pace there is faster than sales and marketing, because it's all machines, and hence automations are always easier. And well, sales and marketing still has a lot of human interface to work with.
in
This
fact,
was
that's
to
what I
become
was.
my follow-up question with a binary answer that which sphere is moving faster? It's the manufacturing
It's
or
manufacturing.
sales and
It's
it's
manufacturing.
manufacturing.
It is
Because at the
easier
time
for
of
manufacturing. That's why manufacturing, I would say.
Yes, and I've been to a few conferences, and kind of use cases I have seen by some of the solution partners, the kind of data engineering that they are doing, and the kind of money they are saving for the companies whom for them they are designing the solutions is like massive, massive. So in especially in applications like power plants and all, where there are companies who have moved far ahead of these traditional control rooms and all, and gone into completely digital control rooms where each and every parameter is measured to the atomic level, and the recommendations are being shown and corrections are being done. Even the corrections are not waiting for the supervisors to approve; they are being done automatically based on AI, and it's saving a lot of money. It's also on the safety front. It's adding a lot of value on the safety front in plants where, because of human errors, we used to have those Poka UKs and those old Japanese concepts. Ankur would be also aware. And I have worked in manufacturing for 7 years, so I also am aware. But the kind of things which are happening now are like unthinkable.
So yeah, there is also collaboration between when you talk about whether it is faster in sales or manufacturing. So in my previous organization, we were using VR technology where the service person who is doing repair at a dealership, they are wearing a VR lens, and from the company, from the premises of company, we are guiding them that which bolt has to be taken out, which bolt has to be tightened, because we are able to see it from the eyes of servicemen. So it is a collaboration between manufacturing and service and sales also, which is coming up very fast.
Wow, I think we had forgotten the service aspect while drawing a comparison between the sales and marketing universe and a manufacturing universe. I think technology will not leave even service, and I think it is doing a lot of changes, transformational changes rather. So, very interesting. Thanks, Ankur, for sharing this one.
I think we've come to the end of it, and some in really good insights shared during the session. I actually, from a marketing perspective, we realize we have a bunch of things to cover for these two industries. So definitely a point taken there. Unfortunately, I think Projesh has dropped off, but I'll just bring him back on. In the meantime, we can wrap it up here. Thank you so much again, Ankur, for your valuable insights, and to Projesh. I know he can hear us for sure. And I think over to you, Vineet, for your closing remarks.
I think wonderful discussion. Can't thank enough both Ankur and Projesh. Ankur, I think your insights, which had an element in sales, service, and also on the product line, I think gives a perspective of where the industry is moving. And I think Projesh, thank you for your thoughts. I think you covered well on the technology and also its application in an industry like trucking, which is so traditional. But at the same time, I think some wonderful comparisons that you could draw between different levels of automotive within the industry, and also how does the sales and marketing of automobile fare comparison in comparison to an FMCG on e-com. I think very wonderful coverage in your in when you spoke. So wonderful. I think Shivani and I would look forward to having multiple discussions like these, and I think we will have a whole lot of series of webinars where we can educate ourselves, and I think everybody can leverage from this knowledge that is pouring down. Thank you all, the participants who shared their bit of questions and interest. Thank you, Ankur and Projesh again. Thank you, Shivani, for organizing this wonderful
Thank you.
event.
Thank you,
Uh,
Vineet and Shivani, for having us over.
Thank you, Vineet.
Thank you, Ankur, for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you, thank you,
And
thank
thank
you.
you,
Thank
everyone who has joined the webinar and had a patient hearing to us. Thanks.
Thank you.
thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.